it's Anna. We are kicking off our May Proverbs Challenge. I'm here to bring you some super fun activities for kids, teens, and even the fun-loving adult. So what activities, you may ask? Well, they'll be centered around verses or themes or chapters in Proverbs. And it's basically just to get you to dive into the word and pull out whatever you can or whatever catches your attention. For me, I'm bringing you some exciting drawing prompts, and this week we've chosen a verse for an example from Proverbs 4. It says, "Guard your heart, for it is the wellspring of life." I actually had to memorize this verse a few years ago when me and my family did this activity together. And a lot of the times when you read something, an image pops into your head. And for me, I think of a knight in shining armor. So what I drew was a little bear in armor guarding a heart. And as you can see on each page, we have a place for you to draw your own. And of course, since Star Wars Day is coming up, I had to do a Star Wars one. This is Obi-Wan guarding a heart from a droid. And again, there's a space for you to do your own. If you're not into drawing prompts, that's okay, because we have templates where you can take notes. This is really just to put everything you learn from Proverbs onto a paper and express it in different ways. And the thing is, you don't have to do it exactly how I do it. You can take whatever imagery you see. There are a lot in Proverbs, like ants, owls, there are apples and eyes, there's wisdom flowing from God's mouth. You can find it pretty much everywhere. And it's going to be a great challenge for us to see what we can find in Proverbs and then send it in. So what I want you to do is pick something to illustrate and send it to me. And I'll be looking through all of them, and I'll pick a few to show off for our next video. I really encourage you to get involved because this is a great way to stay connected, even though we're apart. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye!
Hey, it's Aaron and Terry, and Aaron, we are here today to talk about Proverbs, going through the book of Proverbs in the month of May.
Yeah, we're inviting you to join us in a Proverbs challenge, one chapter each day of the month of May, and we're going to lead you through this, and we're going to do a number of fun activities. So I hope you will join us along with your entire family as we as a whole church, really jump into Proverbs and see what wisdom we can gain from God on this.
Right, one chapter a day sounds great, right? It's bite-sized pieces, but it keeps us focused on God's word. Wonderful.
Absolutely. And we're going to share quite a few different things with you. And we're setting up a Facebook page just for this. So it's going to be a private so that you will be able to access some of this information and respond to us. Also, we ask that for those who would like to respond in a different way, please use the email cocnwvideos@gmail.com in case you want to send things back in. As you heard from Anna, we're going to be sharing some of the stuff, the pictures and activities that you also do along with us during this time. So this first picture here is just to show a daily activity that you can do. This is, again, for kids, teens, adults. You can use this for whatever chapter you want, since this one is a generic item. Some things will be very generic so that you can use every day. Some things will be more specific to a chapter. We're going to include a number of different drawing activities, and we've also included some memory verse templates that we will include each week. And if you pick a different verse than ours, we ask you to create your own memory verse template and just see how many you can memorize during the month of May. I mean, let's have some fun with this.
Absolutely. I love the way Anna put it. The fun-loving adults are included also. That's me.
Yes, that's you. It definitely is you. We'll see how many other fun-loving adults there actually are as well. One or two, maybe.
Excellent. One or two.
So in what Anna showed you as well were some drawing activities, and so those will be on the website or the Facebook page for you to access, and we'll also be emailing this out to you as well. So trying to hit you up from a number of different angles to make sure you get the material that we will be going through.
Lots of different media and social media outlets for everyone to receive. I love it.
Absolutely. Ryan's also going to be doing activities with the teens, and he's going to do a daily activity. This will be posted for anyone, and so as you want to include or follow along with what the teens are doing, we invite you to do that. He's going to have a word or a phrase of the day, a key verse, and a daily challenge to go with that. So again, if you need something to help you walk through this, we really invite you to embrace whatever's happening for whatever age and to be involved and just have some fun with us. We really want this to be very interactive between the whole church, so it feels like we're more together even when we're not together.
Exactly. Yeah, I love the momentum behind all this. All these activities, Anna's going to draw things and having the kids draw, or the fun-loving adults draw, and then the adults have challenges and memory verses. And this is an opportunity to really engage and participate, especially based around the book of Proverbs, which is it's loaded with stuff, right?
Yeah, so much wisdom, so much insight. And so hopefully, it's Sunday morning. You've already read Proverbs 1 and 2. Now that it's May 3rd, you can start to read Proverbs 3. So we just encourage you to do this every day. Try to keep up because we really think you'll be blessed by this, and the interaction will be a blessing as well.
Right. Just the small investment that we make each day, right? 30 minutes of our time or whatever you want to take. What a great investment to really absorb Proverbs into your life.
Absolutely. So a little bit about the background of Proverbs before we jump into the actual chapters. The book of Proverbs is known as poetic or wisdom literature. And there's a couple other books right around it that are also part of Job is this, Psalms, parts of Psalms, Ecclesiastes and Song of Psalms, or Songs of Solomon, whichever way you like to call that book. Right. And Proverbs are usually short and memorable truths. Now, they're not promises from God, but they're usually truths. Mm-hmm. And they're intended to help us to be wise. And by wise, I don't just mean smart or smarter, but really how we live according to God's principles and to be better people, and to, as we tie into 1 month to live, to leave a legacy for those behind us. So these are really there to help us live our lives. And it is from Solomon. He's the author of the book, one of the wisest men in the Bible, the son of King David, and he was also king of Israel. And this is talked about in 1 Kings 4:29 through about verse 35. And it references him as God gave Solomon wisdom and great insight and breadth of understanding, and measureless as the sand on the seashore. Solomon's wisdom was greater than the wisdom of all the men in the East, and greater than all the wisdom in Egypt. And it goes on to talk about how many songs and proverbs he wrote, and how many people came to visit him. And one of the famous stories of King Solomon is the two ladies who came, and one of the babies was dead, and he had to figure out whose child it was, and that just shows the beginning of Solomon's wisdom. And he was one of the great wise men of all time.
Right, and Proverbs there are applications to every facet of our lives. Right, there is nothing that isn't covered in the book of Proverbs.
Yeah, and fascinating. So let's talk about a little bit what's in the book of Proverbs. So hang on, here we go. The book of Proverbs seems to have a little bit of everything for everybody: anger, anxiety, bitterness, jealousy, grief, sadness, healing, hope, delight, rejoicing, love, hate, panic, shame, spirit, family, friends, neighbors, strangers, wisdom, prudence, purity, righteousness, understanding, abomination, backslider, brutish, wealth, work habits, occupation, business, borrowing, reputation, your name, peace, rebuke, scold, truth, lies, the word, and so much more. So wow,
what a list! That covers everything.
I think it does. So let's jump in. What's up with chapter 1?
Chapter one is a great introduction to the book of Proverbs. I really love it. There are so many times that we just want to quote a specific proverb. We want to pick something out and apply it to our lives. But chapter 1 introduces us to the idea. It says, Chapter 1 is great for gaining wisdom and instruction and doing what is right and fair, and knowledge and discretion for the young. Let the wise listen and add to their learning, and on and on and on. Proverbs 1:5, a wise man will hear and will increase learning. A man of understanding will attain wise counsel. This is what's in store for us in the book of Proverbs. Some people look at Christianity as a list of don'ts, right? But Proverbs is all the wisdom accumulated in one spot. And it's not just a list of do this, don't do that, but it's, if we want to attain wisdom and understanding, we begin here with the Proverbs.
Wow. So you're saying there's actually something for me in here?
I think so. There might be something for everyone, Aaron.
Wow, that's really exciting. And what it's also a part of a wisdom is what not to get into. Mm-hmm. Proverb transitions from the great opening, talking about the purpose and the theme, And then it kind of transitions into a warning about, where we need to be careful. Wisdom also, keeps us from getting into areas that we shouldn't be getting into. And it's kind of a warning after it lays out this big theme and purpose. It gives us some warnings about that we really need to use the wisdom we get from God to stay out of certain areas. That's so important. It's also calling out to us. I think that was a phrase that was used several times in chapter 1, that wisdom is calling out to us. So, how will we answer?
Mm-hmm. Exactly. It's a fork in the road. How will we answer? What choice will we make as we begin this study, as we begin reading Proverbs? Just like with our May challenge, what choice will we make? Will we stick with it? Will we invest in it? Will we spend time every day? Or will it fade away and we just ignore it again?
Yeah, and wisdom, we don't want wisdom to fade. Right. This is something we so look for, and so we need to continue to seek it out. As we look into chapter 2 starts very similar to the way chapter 1 started, stating the benefits of wisdom. A lot of times we want to know which pathway to take in life, to understand why life can be so difficult. And it is. Once we've come to God, the problems don't necessarily end. And so we need that wisdom to be able to choose those paths in life, or to choose how we respond, to the paths of life. So we really need to be listening to the instruction of God. Mm-hmm. Verse 6 from chapter 2, for the Lord gives wisdom, and from his mouth come knowledge and understanding. And when I read that one, it reminded us of our James study from earlier, I guess in 2019.
2019, yeah.
Yeah, there's a similar verse from James 1:5. If any of you lacks wisdom, you should ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to you.
Right, and I love that, right? This is our choice again. If we lack wisdom, we should ask God. We should pursue it. And even before verse 6 that you read, I loved 1 through 5. My son, if you will receive my words and hide my commandments within you, so that you incline your ear to wisdom and apply your hearts to understanding. Yes, if you cry after knowledge and lift up your voice for understanding, if you seek for her as silver and search for her as hidden treasure, then you shall understand the fear of the Lord and find the knowledge of God. There are things in here that if we do these things, if we accept, if we store up, if we turn our ears, if we apply our hearts, even a little bit of nerd speak here, if we do these things, then wisdom will be ours. The if then there. This is a call to us to invest in a relationship. Relationships are always two-way streets, right? They require investments on both sides. And God is calling us, are we going to invest in a relationship with him by listening to his words and accepting his wisdom?
Yes, and that's absolutely right. Is God is going to give us, or is offered to give us this wisdom, and how are we going to interact with him? And that's why we thought it was so important to jump into Proverbs and to try this as a group, right? We need the wisdom of God as a man, as a father, as a family, as a church community. This is us trying to answer this call for wisdom, and will we be there, as we go through these 31 days? Let's commit to doing this together, to having some fun. That's going to be a part of this, and we want to share back and forth, so interact with us. But yeah, let's commit to this study and to the relationship with God, to see what God will pour into us and make us wiser each and every day.
31 days in the Word, 31 days in Proverbs, 31 days in May. Aaron, it's going to be exciting and fun.
I'm excited. I'm ready to go, Terry. Let's do this.
Okay, thanks. See you soon.
Bye.